Good morning, I'm Alene. I'm a jewelry designer from Arizona, and today we're going to talk about how to choose artisan jewelry. So first of all, what does that mean? The word actually is Italian. Now don't kill me on the pronunciation here, but it's artigiano, and it basically means skilled craftsman who makes or creates something from hand, or by hand, so to speak. So that term has been around since the BCs, 7000 BC, and that kind of craft, whether it be jewelry or other types of artifacts, has been treasured by many. Now today, artisan obviously means the same thing, and when it applies to jewelry, it means something that is made by hand and uniquely created, one of a kind. I mean, even if, for example, I'm making a component, like let's say these cuffs, which are all designed, as you see, with copper and sterling silver. They're all going to be essentially the same size, but every single one of them is done by hand, and so each design is going to be different. So while it does have some consistency, it's still a one-of-a-kind piece. So that's something that I treasure when I make something, and I feel it every time I put my hand to the hammer or do the texturing or put fire on something. I know that it's going to turn out to be something unique and unusual and different, and someone is going to love it, including me, of course. So the first important thing about choosing your artisan jewelry is, are you drawn to it? Do you like it? Does it pop out at you when you're in some kind of a store, or you're at an art fair, or you're online looking, or you're on Instagram, or wherever you see it? If it hits you immediately, that means probably it's for you. So that's actually the most important thing. Now, getting down to more of the nitty-gritty, and I'll show you some pieces here in a minute to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. The first thing you want to do after that is you want to see if you know anything about the artist. Have you met them at the show? Have you been following them online? Have you seen a video with them, a blog? Someone at the store where you're buying it can give you more details about the artist. That, I think, is more important than when every time you're wearing the piece, you know, oh, this came from somebody who was in Arizona and made this for me, and they used this material, etc. So it makes it more personal, and it makes it more your own. So that's another thing to think about. The next most important thing is the materials and the components and the construction. So what I mean by that is, if it's, for example, silver, is it sterling silver? Is it fine silver? Or is it just silver plated? That's a huge difference, because sterling and fine silver are going to be fine for almost every single person. If it's plated, it means it's plated over some other metal, and you don't know what that metal is. And if it's nickel, for example, I know a lot of people are allergic to nickel. I don't use it at all. I don't think most artisans actually will, but it's something to consider when you're looking to purchase. Anything that has fine silver, for example, I'm going to just show you these earrings that are from my super skinny line. Everything will have, and I don't know this, you're going to be able to see that, but there's the 925 hallmark on there, and that tells you, yes, this is definitely silver. 925 means sterling, and the difference between sterling and fine is sterling silver is 92.5% silver, and the other 7.5% is normally copper. The 99.9 is actually 100% silver. The reason you don't see that a lot is because silver is very soft, and so it's going to have to be a thicker material. So these out of 99.9, they would have been a lot thicker, or they would have been flimsy, and of course we don't want that. If it doesn't have the hallmark on it, let me show you another one here that has, where are we? Okay, this ring, for example, and this is another one in sterling. And again, on the inside, I've got the 92.5. I also have my hallmark on there. And a hallmark is just basically my name, my branding, again, so you know that if you're getting a piece from me that I actually physically made it. Now, if it doesn't have that hallmark on it, for example, I have a piece here that I made many years ago and then kind of refined it. But because it's already made and the stones are in it, it's got an emerald and it's got a malachite in it, I can't really put the hallmark on the back anymore. It just won't work. It'll destroy it. So what I've done is I've taken a little, and you'll see this a lot too, a little tag on the back. And the little tag on the back is attached right to it, and it also then has the 92.5. So that's something to know. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull this down so you can see some of the items a little better, and then I'll just keep talking. How's that go? Okay. Yes, this works great. Okay, for example, this piece as well, this is done in copper and sterling, although since it's more copper, I don't have to put the sterling on there, but it certainly has my name on there. Now maybe this will be easy to see. Hold on a second. My name is, I can't even see it from here. Oh, it's way down at the bottom here. I don't know if you can see it, but it is definitely etched in there, and it's etched in every single piece that I make. So that's important. The other thing when I mentioned was construction, and by construction I mean what kind of a clasp does it have? Is this something you can work with? A lot of things have little tiny clasp, drives me crazy. So is it have something you can work with? Like this one, for example, has a pretty good size one that will work. What about the earrings? Do they have the good ear wires on them, or any kind of a thing like this that will work? Let me get that off of there so you can see. You know, this is primarily the kind that I use because it works for everyone. It's a 20 gauge silver. So that's another thing to look at. What is the construction of it? Those things are important. Then the most important thing in every kind of a piece that you purchase is, if you like it, buy it. Years ago, 20 plus years ago now, I was at an art fair. It was before I was actually designing jewelry. I was at an art fair. I saw a pair of earrings that I just loved. I was drawn to them, as I mentioned before. And I was with my husband, and I started to walk away, and he said, wait a minute. He said, you love those, and buy it. He said, you'll never see it again. You'll never find it the same way. Buy it right now. And I did. And I've never regretted that. So my advice to you is, if you see something, you like it, if you feel it, buy it. That's really important. You'll never see it again. You'll have it. You'll be able to wear it. You'll be able to treasure it. You'll be able to think about that artist or the feeling you got when you found it. That's kind of what happened to me with the earrings. I can remember that feeling. I can remember loving those. So make that kind of important in your life, and then you can pass that jewelry on to family. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. You can look for the next video. Let's see, that's going to be down here. And then if you want to subscribe, which I'd love to have you do, you can do that up here. And I will be doing more on how to choose and wear your jewelry, also a lot about gemstones. So love to have you, and like my video if you can. Thank you.